Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Good afternoon and welcome to Repo Rethink Politics, where we talk about local, national, and international at times of what's going on in politics from one side to the other. And I have my co-host with me, Easy. Stay doing it. What's going on, E?
Doing it. Easy does it. Nah, it's just so much shit that's been going on right now. Man, we needed this podcast sooner.
But you know what? Everything was kind of like maybe whatever, and then when it starts settling, then it was kind of like, wow, everyth's just piling on that shit. So
right, yeah.
And we got our other co-host, ICBTS. So I threw out the acronym, and I want you to introduce one of your alias. What's going on, Chaz?
What's up? This is a new one, but I think we can all relate to it. You can kind of, just think hard. ICBTS. I can't believe this shit.
Absolutely.
That's basically me every time I hear a fucking like, what?
Yeah, that's everybody. Yeah,
bruh. The Eagles? Y'all niggas can't come to the White House? What?
Yeah.
We wasn't gonna come anyway.
Yeah, we didn't want to fucking get invited. Fuck it.
Like, I can't believe this shit. This nigga really that petty. Bro, you got North Korea, you got crime. Isn't there still an opioid crisis?
Oh, yeah.
No, first of all, where's Melania?
Yeah, it's like she's the new Waldo, dog.
No, she popped up. As soon as everybody started talking about that, like, it's been 24 days, all of a sudden she pops up.
Yeah, it's like, ooh.
At some, like, press conference or something, whatever it was she had.
Exactly.
But they kind of had to do it. They was kind of say, I know you're mad at him and you don't want to deal with this shit, but you fucking need to come out,
Yeah.
Looking like the groundhog up in this bitch.
Yeah. Like, oh, shit. 6 more weeks of summer.
They said something, they said that Trump was at some press conference and was talking to the reporters, and then he was like pointing off to the distance, like, oh, and there's Melania over there. And everybody looked over at the window, and there was no Melania. And everybody's like, the fuck?
That's what I was like, and that's my acronym right now. I can't believe you would do, like, why would you do that?
Yeah, so everybody could be like,
he tricked us.
Oh, she had to be because he said it. Yeah.
So she was in the window and be like, no, she wasn't, dude. Oh, yes, she was. You just missed her. You're like, you fucking lying bastard. God damn. So let's start off with since you went there, let's start off with some I guess entertainment type political news, because we started with a little Melania, and all the press was like, where the fuck is she after she did the bully thing, and then all of a sudden she like disappeared, and then she had some kind of major surgery and you didn't hear nothing about her again. So there's a lot of things that I just think she's just tired of it all. It's not just him. It's just so much of this shit that she didn't expect to be part of. And
right.
Which is sad for her, but you made the bed, so you were fucking lying, that bitch.
Well,
yeah.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was just gonna say, like you said, I don't think she signed up for this on an international level. Like the shit just blew up. Everything it's probably nothing like she expected it to be, and it's getting all like, it's just so much like scandals going on, and then it's directly going at their marriage, all the issues with the porn star, and like straight up cheating on his wife, the affair when she's pregnant.
The 3 people. Yep.
And then the health issues, supposedly, allegedly. I mean, we don't really know exactly what's going on.
Wait, conspiracy E.
Yeah.
Is on. So you think
allegedly?
So you think this surgery was some bullshit? That was her excuse to?
I think it wasn't as serious as they probably. I bet you they used that because obviously, if somebody's sick or hurt or whatever, they can say, "Oh, well, she's in the hospital, so therefore you won't see her." So it kind of gives them like a week or two.
So
that's what I think.
So every 2 months is going to be some fake medical situation.
Yeah.
Was that what you said?
Yeah. She's under the weather every 6 months.
She's having a heart condition. Yeah.
Right.
No, it's gonna be like a flu. It's like it's gonna be wintertime. It's getting cold. And
it's gonna be seasonal.
Fucking.
That kind of, yeah.
She's gonna have fruit diseases. Mangoes in season. Tropical. Ebola.
It is. So with that, then we go to these volcanoes and shit, because the new one is fucking Guatemala, which was like devastating as hell. But the one in Hawaii has been continuously going.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand that one. That's been like a month. I mean, it feels like a month.
Scary though, man.
So
what do you do?
I wanted to segue into the global warming issue, because the Earth is feeling some kind of way, and these are all of the kind of repercussions of different things going on in the damn climate wise.
With this, I mean, basically the midterms are really the only chance we have at some sort of climate change. Like with the current House, Senate, and executive branch, like these motherfuckers are not going to do anything. And it's just in fact, the motherfucker is like, hey, coal is back, baby. So we're going from clean energy to
coal.
The old shit, and it's just kind of like, I know it's an issue, but I'm just so, I don't want to say is in the back of my mind, but in terms of someone who is, I care about the environment, care about, I like Tesla, I like electric cars, I like all that shit, but this shit is like, what am I gonna, it feels like it's a losing battle right now, and until we get to November 2018.
And that's disturbing. Let me use that word. It's disturbing. And it's disturbing to me because even when we get new people in, it's still going to be a battle. And then after the battle, then it's going to come to some kind of legislation, and then it's going to be a compromise. We got to get back with the national, with the international people to say, hey, can we agree with this bullshit? It's like so overwhelming to see the shit that's going on. And then they had to report back with Puerto Rico with how many people has died, and they still haven't maintained electricity on the whole. And that's our country, dude. They're part of us. They're citizens.
So check this out. Here's the reverse of what I have to say. So I've been pretty active on the Wall Street Journal. I check out the articles and the comment section. Motherfucker be like, look. And again, that's why my name is I can't believe this shit today. So
that should be your name. Motherfucker be like.
Motherfucker. So yeah.
Motherfucker be like.
So the motherfuckers in the comments. First, the Wall Street Journal already tracks a certain kind of cloth. People cut from a certain cloth. So it'd be like, I think I read an article about the whole the sports shit. Trump thing with the kneeling. And they'd be like, the Eagles and blah, blah, blah. And the comments be like, man, I love what he's doing, but, these shenanigans. It's like, or it'd be like some other shit to where it's just some goofy shit Trump does, but his supporters are obviously, oh, man, the economy's doing great, but, Trump he can't keep his eye on the ball. It's like, in other words, from what you're saying, as long as percentages are up and unemployment is down, it's just like, people don't give a fuck about nigga, Puerto Rico. What?
Yeah.
What?
No, it's exactly. Not
Guatemala.
So
what?
Exactly. That's exactly what's going on. It seems like it's more about what they care about or what they don't care about. I think Trump looks at it at like ratings. So that's his way of gauging what the conversation is doing, what people care about. And that's when he ends up doing something about anything, but,
of course.
But, unless it has to do with black people. Or people of color, so obviously, So it's Puerto Rico. It's like brown skinned people, and the fuck out of here. Like that's the way he looks at it because he don't take it seriously. But he's not really that kind of guy where he actually has the heart to go and do everything he can. So it's an afterthought right now.
And again,
so it was a publicity stunt in the very beginning when he went down in the first place, because that's where the media was going. So I mean, once we get into that whole media talk, I got a whole nother thing about that because I lost all respect with the media right now. Well, it's been going on for a long time, but man, because the problem is the media has been going there was a path that the media was going for a while, even since Obama was in, where now we got a president that literally every action he does goes through the media, what the media is talking about. And they're scared, man. They're scared to lose their credentials. They don't question him. They're scared to talk about certain things for a certain amount of time. It's like they'll mention it and they move on to the next topic.
Let me jump on the opposite of that, though, E. So kind of answer me this. Even, do you think they're really jumping off it? But if this dude is so manipulative, he starts something new the next day. They can't even hold on to what he said a day or two ago because there's something crazy he does the next day or later on that hour. I mean, I get it. I do. But he do so much outrageous shit. Be like, did you just hear what the fuck he said? But we just heard before that is, his son is going to get indicted. But then all of a sudden he does something and that shit is gone. Because he said something totally out of the blue. While I'm meeting with Kim Kardashian, you know what I'm saying? And, the New York Post says the other big ass meeting. You know what I mean?
That's pretty funny. I never would have imagined reading a real article in the future of President Trump meeting with Kim Kardashian regarding, prisoner issues. I was like, what? And I'm not saying it's wrong, but again, I was like, I can't believe this shit is happening. Ridiculous. I can't.
He's not a state senator. He's not a governor. He's not a mayor. Why do you listen to, sadly, Kim Kardashian talking about this one person? Do you know how many other people are in there that's suffering way more than her that didn't do crimes? She actually did the crime.
Oh, she was guilty?
Yeah.
Wait, what's she doing?
She's guilty. She was fucking selling drugs, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh, but did she not deserve the time?
She didn't deserve
the
length of the time. And under the circumstances of being a grandmother and yada, yada, yada,
right.
Does she really deserve to be in that long? There's people in prison that didn't do the crime, but they don't have evidence, but they being held in prison. But we're not talking about them. And he don't give a fuck. The only reason he's dealing with this black woman is because Kim Kardashian showed up and he had an opportunity to take a picture with Kim Kardashian in his office.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's more than that. She's black. The woman that was in prison. Man. I feel like that was kind of an end. Like it was easy, like, this is
a photo
like a home run. It's perfect. Kim Kardashian comes over. Yeah, photo op. Look what I did. My black friend, my African American. I mean, it just adds to the tabloids, to the photo op. It adds to what he's accomplished, who he's pardoned. He can keep partying now.
He's a pardoned motherfucker.
he just.
God damn.
Yeah. He pardons everybody. He pardoned what was it, like last week? He pardoned the dude. 1913 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but the only reason he did that was because Sylvester Stallone showed up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, hold on, slow down. I'll defend Sylvester because I think Sylvester gets indirect heat because Philly and Rocky. Philly is so fucked up. They won't put up the statue of the real boxer, Sugar Ray Leonard. What's his name? Sugar. Yeah. Shit. And then it was like, well, damn. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, all right, if Philly will give me Sylvester Stallone actor a statue, but not a real African American man, you know what I'm saying? So I thought it was a good move to be like, all right, well, let me see what I can do to honor, you know what I'm saying, some shit that happened in the past.
It does.
See,
it doesn't.
But here's the thing about what he's doing. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. the bigger picture, it's like, okay, you can do that.
Oh,
but you can't.
No.
I'm not even.
I'm talking about from Sylvester's
I know what you mean.
perspective.
I know what you mean.
From Trump's perspective, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
Why are you here?
Exactly.
I'm trying to win a war. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right. It should be like, yeah, we'll deal with that next year, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Or get
like.
Yeah, yeah.
I got my wife in the hospital allegedly.
Allegedly,
I got North Korea meeting that I'm arguing and sending
sometimes
stupid
I'm going,
letters.
sometimes I'm not. Oh,
Right.
The letter is fantastic, but 9 minutes later, no, I didn't read it yet.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm like, do you see? I can't believe this shit is happening.
Yeah.
I can't believe this shit.
So motherfuckers be like,
it's ridiculous. But and again, can you imagine? We talk sometime at work is when shit is going bad, then you stop and say, what are people looking at us? When you see other people look at you saying, man, you a fucked up ass company. Oh, you're a fucked up organization. But you see them, but they ain't saying it. But the way they look at you, like, you some stupid mother. They're looking at us. Every time you hear this guy come out with something.
But hold on. So, I mean, there's some that are like, this is what America has always been.
Right.
That's
the
problem. It's like, damn, it's the 8 years was cool and on, but then we were right back to what America, or whatever they say, it's always wanted, and then it's just it's not a good look, man. Like we're getting yeah.
So let's. I mean, we got to talk about the tariff situation because there was a
call
today where fucking Trump was on the phone with the Canada guy Trudeau,
bro.
Talking shit about
What's that story? I don't know that story. I heard about it.
So Trump was like, and again, just being an ass, was like, didn't y'all burn down the White House in 1812 or something?
Yeah, the war of 1812, yeah.
It's like, well, how are you helping the situation? It's like, nigga, 80% everything.
Is he supposed to say my bad?
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'm saying, like, bro. 1812. He's like, and you know what? Trudeau should have said, the young niggas have slaves.
Yeah, and they came to us. They went over the border because of your motherfuckers.
You know, that's what he said.
I know. I know. Oh, pussy grabbing motherfucker.
But Trudeau came on the air. I didn't like his look though. He came on the air like he was fucking whining. Hey, we work with them. We went to war with them side by side, and we get this thing. I was like, yo, man, stop the bitching out loud. It is Canada.
You talking about the Canada guy? He said that.
Yeah.
All right, time out. That's the only thing I can say is, I mean, he came in under Obama. It was 2016, and then you got Trump. So you used to a totally different. Still, I get it.
I got that, man. But you don't show up with the whining shit. It's just like the governor, or what was it? The governor or the mayor of fucking Philly or Pennsylvania was like, look, what do you expect from this dude? We just haven't. I forgot what he said.
Gangster.
I don't know if he was like an incompetent or what you call it. That happens to be the president.
So Mike,
and he was like,
Mike wants everybody to be gangster all the time. You gotta be gangster 24/7.
You got to be able to pull it out when you need it, man. Fuck that. You the one who was saying shame they ass. Shame.
I guess I'm willing to give a pass in this situation, just because it's like, why would you? From the United States perspective, it's just it's just the uncertainty, man. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Like the Oprah of tariffs. You get a tariff. You get a tariff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what's economic policy is driving that?
Yeah, I think he's.
So it is. They have a policy. So if you lay it all on the table, it's the policy is and has been free trade. So we want the goods from other people, and they can raise it up as much as they want. And we kept buying that shit. What he's saying is, fuck that, we're not doing it no more. But you don't stop like all of a sudden.
Yeah.
If I'm giving you gas for $2, and then you be like, you know what, over the years, I've been actually charging you too little. So now you're paying $10.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And his argument is the Obama and the past presidents and administrations have been doing it wrong. I know I know that this is the way we need to do it. This is America. We're the greatest. And they're going to bow to us because we're fucking America. Like, it's
you know what?
We're America.
That's what I'm saying. And that's the policy.
Stupid. Yeah.
There's no numbers. No data.
Right.
Like, why you want to do it? Obama, Bush.
It moves the needle. That's why.
MAGA.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the hat. It's
the hat.
It's Trump saying it, therefore.
Yeah. I'm the best, folks.
I hate that MAGA shit, man. I hate that shit.
I do. I really
hate
do. Now became an acronym.
Right. Yeah, I hate that shit.
Well, speaking of MAGA,
Kanye got that shit.
I have a
fucking Ye is amazing. Ye is amazing. Did you hear the new release?
I'm not gonna lie though, this shit was fire.
That shit fire as fuck. That shit is fucking awesome.
And then the production for Pusha T shit was fire.
I didn't hear that one.
Bro, that shit was fire. Like, God damn. You know, Kanye's producing 5 albums, all 7 tracks.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah. Pusha said he got the album of the year though. That's what he's saying.
Basically, I think so. Yeah.
Who's
Pusha.
that?
Pusha T's album is pretty good. It's pretty good.
Nah.
What?
No,
you said you
listen to it.
You ever heard it?
I know.
I can't believe this shit.
I don't think anything, honestly.
You gotta hear it. It's got Kanye all over it, and then it's Pusha.
But I don't think anything's gonna outbeat J. Cole, baby.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
that's
that motherfucker J. Cole tells the story of the world, dude.
He should have kept it to 7 tracks, and then we're talking.
Is it fire though? Is that shit fire though?
Yeah,
J. Cole got some fire tracks. I'm with it. I'm with you. He got some tracks that's like and then he got like half the album is like, okay, I fucks with that.
All right, let me rephrase it. If you about to do a Trump protest, you trying to get everybody fired up, whose album you gonna play? J. Cole or Yeezy or Pusha T?
Ooh, you know what? Honestly, it might be
Pusha.
I gotta hear Pusha then.
Hold on. No clip. Clip. Some fucking years. J. Cole got a couple tracks that like the NBA been like pushing. I've seen a lot of commercials.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Which one?
The NBA been showing them love.
Yeah, a lot of them. The counting.
What's that? Count it up.
Count it up. That's that one.
That's the ATM joint. Yep.
I've been here in 1985 a lot on my radio, Sirius XM.
Really?
I'm talking about up here. Yeah.
Wow.
Hot 97. Yeah, they played. Yeah. So I'm just saying. So
I gotta hit Pusha T though. I gotta hit Pusha T, but
I gotta hit Pusha T.
But Ye, wow, that shit was.
All 3 of them are.
Yeah,
all 3 of them are dope. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 of them are dope though. So.
Yeah.
Damn, we got way off subject.
Well, you brought up Yeezy.
That was my fault. That's my fault. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We did, but you had to, and when he says slavery was a choice, and then he turned around and said, "You should have caught me on one of my bad days."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
pretty sure we did, nigga.
Yeah, no, not with him because he's crazy. It's like fucking bipolar as fuck. So
it's awesome. Man.
Yep, that's my superpower.
Yeah.
What he said? Yeah, he said being bipolar it sucks, but it's awesome. What the fuck he said on that cover album? Yeah.
So sticking with the entertainment shit, so you had Roseanne that said she was on Ambien, and then Ambien said if you read the commercials, some of the side effects don't say racism. So sorry,
racism
is not a side effect.
Yeah. That would be a great excuse.
I love that. That is, we got some shit that your head will blow up or your dick will fall off, but racism is not one of them. So we got you on that. And then Sam B call a girl the C word.
Oh, she fucked it up. Though,
no, like, she really didn't. She.
Who?
Yes,
Samantha.
Yeah, I just did like. Wow. Okay, my opinion. She goes too far. Anyway, she's a little extra for me. Like I watched her show a little bit. It's like, I'm not saying I disagree with her. I'm saying I watched her show before that whole thing, and it's like, she goes extra. So this ain't nothing new. It's just that she did it right after that shit. It was just like she wasn't really feeling. Okay, I don't know, whatever.
I didn't see that. To me, that wasn't that bad.
It wasn't bad because it was the topic was correct, but the name calling was wrong.
I think she went too far. That's all I'm saying. That's bad timing. It's more about timing. It's not that I disagree with her. I'm just saying she could have held her tongue. Like, hold on, you about to be an example. So she could have. That's all I'm saying. And she ended up being an example. But she ain't getting fired.
No.
That's not the same thing.
Oh, definitely not. And then all of a sudden, Roseanne has been crazy for years, but they've been hiring her like a motherfucker, though, right?
Look, here's I think the context, like,
it's everything.
So the context. So let's go back, and in terms of like the presidential daughters, whatever. Obviously, Sasha, Malia, their kids, teenagers, whatever. The Bush daughters, they're wild, but they weren't. They didn't really put themselves out there. They just did their thing and whatever. Before it was Chelsea Clinton. She was a kid.
Yeah, but they dogged the shit out of her. He was saying how ugly she was and what kind of kid is her.
I'm just saying, she didn't put herself out there. Ivanka, she puts herself out there, and then she's very.
She's in it. Yeah.
She's not genuine. She turns a blind eye to shit. Like, I'd rather her be like the other one they don't talk about, Tiffany. Like, they never talk about Tiffany ass or the other one. She just be like,
that's the one they don't like.
She's just fucking there.
Yeah, I was gonna say even they
family doesn't like her.
They wouldn't give a fuck.
That's what I'm. But I'm just what I'm saying is she just kind of. If she was to fall back, but because she's putting herself out there and she be bullshitting,
that's him.
Like,
that's his. That's the wife that he wanted. He wanted.
You talking about? Wait, what's her name? What's the daughter's name?
Ivanka's
who's she called?
daughter.
Yeah, Trump.
Who's she calling?
Trump wanted his daughter as his wife. That's what he sees her as. That's how crazy.
That's so gross.
Now let's take the sexual thing out of that. I mean, he's been saying, well, yeah, I'm sorry, you got to keep it in. Yeah, because he says things. People like, hey, you see the rack on her? Yeah, I know. Isn't it great?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's your fucking daughter, dude.
See, here's the thing. He talks about his daughter like she's like an object, like she's one of those what's her name, the porn star.
Oh, the model?
Yeah, like a trophy. Like, check this out. Like, this is my daughter. I made this.
But she's so smart that he loves that too.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but he loves it because it's his daughter.
Hold up. He said he's so smart. What?
No, he loves that because it's his daughter.
Yeah.
She's so smart.
Okay.
She's smarter than all of the whole fucking family, honestly. But she's still part of the family.
She has she has the personality of a porcupine that got shot. I don't know. Her personality, like, I guess at this point, the whole fakeness can't really hide the fact of what's going on. I think pre-president, what's her name, could sell you a book.
Right.
But after that, she's so hollow. It's just kind of like, it just reminds you of, especially after Hillary. After we went to this whole Hillary election and Hillary had the whole criticism, man, we want something real, genuine.
You talking about Ivanka, right?
Yeah, I'm saying Ivanka is all talking points.
I feel like, yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I think she's just playing her role.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I think she's more than what she's playing to be. But I think she's just playing her role, and it's just...
You know how much they get
like
paid?
She's dry.
Yeah. She's getting paid for playing that damn role. They selling around the world. They are international now. That's what she's doing.
And it's fucking I feel like we have like a high class white trash family in there.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You got money. You know what? Wait a minute. I'm just on it. So you got some guy with 3 wives. You got he's a baby daddy.
Yeah.
He's attracted to his daughter. His kids live with them.
They act like they inbred.
They got hunting pictures. With
Buddy goes
hunting.
hunting.
Shit. Yeah, the Eric and whatever the other dudes. Yeah.
Yeah, they're against black people and Latinos. Yeah, they're fucking. They're high class.
That's exactly
white trash. It's like it makes sense.
They fit that. That stereotype that we just knew. Because we live in America. That we're just like, I know they out there. They in the fucking.
Now they're in the
White House.
Yeah.
Like to the book. Yeah, exactly.
The way we always thought it would be. Some of the people relate to, because they don't see them as elitists. They see them as, hey, they trash just like us. They just got money.
Duck Dynasty, all that white shit.
That's a great. That's
good one,
their Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Duck Dynasty,
because they got money, man. But they just
hunting like a motherfucker. So
they trying to act like they regular.
Yeah, they act like they regular because they on TV. But if they weren't on TV, they would have been doing the same old shit, eating raccoons.
Can you please? Yeah.
Right.
Raccoon eating ass and pigeons and shit. But yeah. So that's what disturbs me. We talked about 30 minutes about some crazy, useless shit that's going on that's distracting.
Just because
who's in charge?
You know why? Because the media, the fucking media. I'm trying to tell y'all.
What's your angle?
You can't fight through it though. I mean, I'm being honest. It's hard to fight through that.
No. Wait. No, Mike. You a tech guy. I know you saw the Apple thing, right?
Yeah, some of it. I was very disappointed. I didn't want to see that shit.
Irregardless, I know. I feel good since I bought this fucking used Mac. I'm like, oh shit. If I'm gonna release some new shit, I can probably buy a used Mac, better, newer. Nope. I'm like, good.
You're good to go. You're good. You got 2 more years. Goddamn it.
2 more years. I'm like, shit, go. Side note, but I think, first we have this whole data thing. Apple basically is pushing back against Facebook. I'm like, if you want to for the Facebook app. It can only use this kind of data, et cetera, et cetera. I think the tech companies are seeing their role in shaping news and information. So eventually I do see some sort of, Obama said in his last year, there's going to be some sort of, there has to be some sort of standard for what is news. And that sounds silly at the time because I think we all agree, or to some people it sounds silly because we know it's news, but from an algorithm perspective, there's going to have to be some sort of open source, agreed upon. Yeah. Like if you're gonna use an algorithm, it has to follow these guidelines. So there's no bias. It's all real.
It's a free market. That's. I mean, I'm not. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's kind of it's wide open right now. The news right now is
like, bro, we can be. In fact, we're news. Fuck that. Right let's be news. Let's just. Shit.
Yeah, because what you're talking about is like the algorithm of like Facebook and how like the news.
Apple News, like Apple News too.
Apple News too. Yeah. Well, I know what you mean.
Google News, you know what I'm saying?
All that shit. Right. I mean, we don't even know how the search engine works for Google and how everything comes through there. We're relying on, Twitter too.
You know what? That's what I'm saying. So if I'm a Ku Klux Klan guy, I'd be like, fuck marching in the streets. I'm gonna just work for Google. I'm gonna change the code here and there.
And I think that's what's been going on the low.
Change that code. The algorithm. Niggas ain't shit. Niggas robbed the gas store, liquor store. Niggas raping everybody. Yeah. Like, God damn.
That's exactly what's happening. It's Muslims, though. They'll just...
Yeah, it's Muslims. So damn. I always look at it as if you make an algorithm, you can make another algorithm to play off of to that. Mm-hmm. One way or another, yes, you battling this, but it's a constant. I mean, we said on the previous podcast, if you don't have national regulation, shit like this is going to be chased after day after day after day. It doesn't really matter. But the ones that the leaders on that is actually monitoring it. So as soon as some shit go on, they're putting people on it. They may not got it right away, but that's why I think Apple's so many of these updates, because people are coming after Apple now because you just couldn't do it before. But now it's kind of like it's fun to go after the big guy, and Apple can't keep up
because they have the responsibility, so they have no choice but to basically cover their ass. Like, fuck that! Before the next election update, before midterm 2018, niggas are not about to blame us. It was Android, nigga. Right. Get an iPhone.
It was the Android fuckers. That's
in fact. Hey, here's the next commercial. The midterm 2018 election was impacted by Russia. If you had a fucking Android, bitch,
a Samsung phone,
If you had an iPhone, you was good. Get your bitch ass out.
Get your ass up out of here. Check that off on the list. Get your ass.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. No, but I guess I see it. It's gonna be like I'm thinking of like a bank insurance, like. For banking and insurance, fraud is a big deal. So basically, you have information fraud to where it's no financial gain, it's political gain. To where if you can, instead of trying to defraud a bank and, you know, get money or an insurance claim, you can say, okay, I'm gonna defraud the American people with false information to get them to, you know, behave how I want them to. So it's gonna be like a that's how I perceive it to be.
So E, do you see that, you know, I know you touched a little of it, you know, with what you work with. You still see that the attack is on and people are still gathering information, even though they may be gathering it and selling it. But now they're gathering it, but they're cautious at selling it to anyone. Do you still see that eagerness to make money with that, with these type of companies, or you know, I'm just throwing that shit out there?
Like putting together fake stories and then selling it so that they could just have all this scams.
You know, just like that what you call it, analytical, gathering all information and then just say, hey, this is what I got.
I mean, that's the game though. I mean, it's more that, I mean, marketers want that. I mean, that's data collection. That's the game right now. I mean, at the end of the day, the product is the user. So they want to know who these users are. They want to build these personas. I mean, and honestly, a lot of people don't want to do the hard work and do it themselves because it's already out there. So they'll pay top dollar to get that. The bigger companies would do that. I mean, companies in China will pay like millions of dollars to find out all the different user profiles, all the data of people in this country, because that's where the money is. And then they store it. I mean, that's the story right now about Facebook, how apparently there was one of the companies, including Apple and Google, took all the data that Facebook has stored in their mobile apps and sold it to one of the companies in China that was on the list of the FBI's
do not fuck with list.
There you go. Yeah, that list. That watch these motherfuckers, that list. It's because apparently the company, I don't know the name of the company in China, they're affiliated with and they work with the Chinese government. So it's kind of like, it's the equivalent of I guess like a Fox News, but worse, where they take the data and they use it against the country to just persuade them. You know, we don't know what China is doing. We know what Russia's doing, but it's pretty much the exact same thing. The fear is that another country can do the exact same thing, and you know, you can infiltrate voting, and then that's obviously a huge fear. But you can do a lot more than just, you know, voting. You can go in and change money and change hands and change everybody's opinion by just building up these different stories, and that's kind of, I mean, that's what this country is, man. We got a bunch of uneducated people seeing the news, and then it changes everything, man. It doesn't matter.
And you kind of answered it, but let me make it a little shorter.
Nah, that's my answer.
No. So my question was, do they care, even though all of this shit came out and people should have been cautious about selling it? But you're saying, but that's the market. As long as somebody's going to buy it and there's no regulation to say you can't do it, they're just going to continue to do it.
Yeah, I know it sounds simple, but it's data collection. That's what I think the game is, you know? Like, people are going to pay a lot of money, but nobody's stopping them from doing it. It has to take somebody, you know, dealing with voter fraud and collusion in order for it to become illegal, for the government to get in and stop it. Otherwise, it's a free game. There's nobody in there infiltrating, stopping from taking people's information. Now, hold on. Now, when you're talking like social security and bank account, like obviously that's illegal. The government jumps in on that kind of thing.
But you don't need that.
You're just talking about no. Well, that's direct money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But there's other ways of, like, if somebody knows that I go to Chipotle every other day because I love Chipotle, you know, and he goes at 2 p.m. because, you know, whatever, that's what he does. And then he goes to sleep at this time. And, you know, he likes this all the time on his Facebook, but he never responds to this. Like, and he just knows, okay, that's what that guy does in Jersey, East Rutherford. Boom, they got one information down. They can keep going and they just get millions more just like that. That's even more than money. It's like,
it's patterns of behavior.
They know what this country is.
If you can pick up patterns of behavior, it's better than money. Because if you know the patterns of a person's behavior, you can drive their money toward the behavior of what they're going to do. You like Chipotle. Guess what? What I'm going to do with Chipotle is, hey, look, I want to do a promotional thing with you. The Republicans is doing these kind of wrappings on your shit. You're going to still go there and you'll be like, oh, shit, this is interesting. You're manipulating their habits and behavior.
That's on the Russian propaganda level. I think even on the highest level is on some, to me, it's terror. If I'm a terrorist motherfucker, I'm gonna be like, okay, traffic patterns, here's where people walk. So now I know how to, if I'm a military, so if I'm a defense military guy, I'm like, oh shit, if this gets in the wrong hands, motherfuckers can really get us. You know what I'm saying? So, shit, get the motherfucker who works at the grid or, one of these critical areas and just hack his shit. Where does Steve do? What the fuck does he do? Let's get Steve. Oh, Steve like women. I'm gonna send a girl to his apartment, steal his badge.
He like women with big breasts and long legs.
Yeah, exactly. Now we ain't got no electricity because Steve like pussy.
They hacked in. Fucking Steve.
You know, another thing.
Steve.
And then they I know we're talking about Facebook too, but they've also there was a report that I saw about how they track. Hackers can track your watch, Apple Watch, your smartwatches, and they can know where you're going and the tendencies of where you're going, and because that information is stored on your watch, stored into your computer, your phones, they can get that information, your geolocation, and the report I actually saw, what they learned is that the people that are the most active, they all end up in a certain location. And then they can use that information to find out where military bases are, because that's actually where one of the most active people are.
Fitbit and all of that shit, and they was like,
this
is where all the soldiers are at. Got them.
Oh, got them.
You fucking idiots.
Exactly.
So.
Like damn. So I'm saying, so there's just the Russia. So it's double sided. You got the Russia. No, it's triple sided. You have Russia, who cares about influence. Then you have China, who's doing more propaganda, but really espionage. China still
I bet it's more money with them.
It's intellectual property. Basically trying to catch up.
I don't think they're trying to match now. I think because of Trump's in there, they got the upper hand, and they're being very aggressive with everything that they're doing. And all he's worrying about is, hey, look, y'all need to buy our steel. You stupid fuck. I mean, you're still looking in the wrong direction, but because he wants to be popular, they're giving him an opportunity to be popular. You can't tell me China and South Korea didn't get together with North Korea and say, no, piss this guy off. Tell him that you're not going. We got your back. So if it goes one way, we got you. Don't worry about it. And then we'll send a person to him, make him feel good, and then we'll go from that. All they doing is playing him, and he doesn't realize he's fucking being played.
I think that too, though. I mean, that's my paranoia thing or whatever you call it. But I think like I'll go as far as to say like I really think their nuclear whatever you call their site that they were doing that shit. I really think it just blew up, and then China. Supposedly they leaked it, but it was evidence that they one of their nuclear sites imploded or whatever, and then they blew it up. They destroyed it, but they wouldn't let any U.S. Representatives or any experts go in and watch the whole event when they blew it up. That's one. So there's no like on-site evidence.
Evidence, really.
It's just hearsay and probably some video footage. And then
from the Asian front,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah. And then we're hoping that because it's China really that gives us some information, and South Korea, but I don't know how much access they're even giving South Korea. But I mean, I really think there's like more nuclear sites. Honestly, there's probably like more than one. There's no way it's just one, in my opinion. Allegedly, I don't know, but I can't. It just seems. I feel like they're getting played, man, and China's just way too smart to just let the U.S. just have a conversation, because all those meetings they've been having with North Korea, it seems like they're setting something up to be like, they got to give us something. Like North Korea is sitting there saying, "Look, we're not just going to give it up to you. You got to give us something."
Yeah, we're not going to give anything. Yeah.
So
I think that's a serious ploy to say, hey, you know what? No matter what you think, if we give you what you think you're getting, but say, you know what? China's on my side, South Korea on my side. You'll be the hero, but you got to let us have this.
Yeah. Because the sanctions are already on the table. Like, we'll drop the sanctions if you get rid of your nuclear bomb or your nuclear site. Boom, they did that. And it's like, okay, now, all right, what am I getting? But at the end of the day, I bet they still actually have this shit, but they won't let the U.S. go in and take a look and see that they actually.
But then South Korea and China are the ones that say, hey, America, we got this. This is the Asian Peninsula. We got this covered. We'll give you the information you need, and we'll go in like that. We don't need fucking UN. We'll give you all the information you need.
Yeah,
but then you're being played.
Yeah. And I already told you my theory before. Like, South Korea is just like that. Eventually, they were just like, "All right, fuck this. We'll just go in and talk to them, but we'll give you all the props, Trump. Like, we'll let you know, like, you did it. Thank you, and you're the best." You deserve a Nobel Peace Prize, I think they said, or something like that. So they just gave them that, like, all right, cool, yeah, I appreciate it. Even though they're doing all the hard work, the heavy lifting, meeting them, I think like twice already, actually. Just, it's like you said, it's the Asian continent. Like, they all together right now. They're just kind of looking at the other side of the water, like, all right, let's just appease Trump and wait until we got our shit together, and then we'll have our summit.
So, Chaz, so you went there, or did you actually travel there school wise or something?
Yeah,
right?
To North Korea?
No, hell no.
Korea, China.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, okay, my bad.
So during that period, and I know we got limits on what we're exposed to, but I'm always fascinated because of how they're changing. This is a communist country.
So this was in 2011. So even since then, there's been changes. But I'll say in general, the people, you have basically, I would say, kind of two camps. You have people who live in the cities, and then the rural people who come visit the city. Now the rural people they're dopes. They don't see black people. They don't because they're all fucking Chinese is pretty
like farmers.
Yeah, it's all homogeneous. So people are like, you're Kobe. Well, Mike, you go over there, you're gonna be some fucking actor, some celebrity.
Yeah, I already heard that shit. Yeah. That's everywhere, bro. That's like Europe. Same shit.
I won't say that. Europe has so many tourist places. I was like, I didn't experience that in Europe more so than China.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong. South Africa is what I meant, actually.
Ooh. But but I would say
we'll say that. Yeah.
But we had a moment to where we wanted to take a picture and like show our university banner, which is in English, and we was in like. Was it Tiananmen something, whatever that square?
Yeah, Tiananmen Square.
So we wanted to do a photo op, and the fucking security guard came by. I was like, he said some shit, and it's like, because he probably didn't, I don't know if he could read English. So if you just see some foreign shit, like, what the fuck y'all up to? Now put that shit up.
This is a communist country, goddammit.
Yeah, so whatever, I think just because of the symbolism of Tiananmen Square or whatever, we had to do that shit like somewhere else. But other than that, the people, like, I just remember so vividly, we went to a club and they was playing Rihanna. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's like the people, just like here, like Trump can talk all this shit. Like, wow, Americans are crazy. But the people, like, a lot of Americans, like, this motherfucker's crazy. We don't, like, I don't give a fuck about what Trump gives a fuck about. It's the same thing with, communist China. Like, the Chinese islands and this and that. If you talk to some 20-something Chinese person, give me a look. I care about my smartphone, cost of living, and this and that.
Snapchat,
dating and shit,
Momo, whatever that.
Yeah.
So you care.
Now you talking like millennials? Because I wonder if that's like an international thing.
I think I feel like it's generally international. Everybody's kind of on the similar wavelength, just because of the world is coming off a global recession, so we all kind of lived through that, or indirectly been impacted by it as an age group, and we're all being impacted by technology as an age group. On both technology improving our lives, and on the other side, automation. It's like if you don't have certain skills, your ass is gonna have a hard time. So,
but you saying
social
that,
media,
and I'm going to segue into that because I'm glad you said it in that way. But Europe leaders are turning fascist. So you got fascist regimes in Italy. You got in Germany, even though Merkel won, one of the major parties that's actually got in there is like a fascist party. And Europe is changing to that, like, no. Fuck the world. We got to take care of ourselves. Germans forever, Italians forever. So you starting to get a lot of that thanks to, hey, look, if American can do it, then we can do it too. These type of relationships.
Is it all connected?
Well,
go ahead.
So if y'all were leaders of a country, would y'all be fascist? I think the only thing I'll say is, I think, a lot of things are more complex than that. So it's kind of like, because when I asked that question, I think anyone would say no. But would you, like, you ask the question, would you kill a baby? Like, of course not. But do you believe in abortion? Like, so you won't be fascist, but I think people would say, if they're being honest, would you just manipulate people to get in power? I was like, sure. Would you use people as a scapegoat? Oh, I mean, Obama used Bush as a scapegoat.
He wasn't a scapegoat. He was fucking up.
I'm saying to the point of ad nauseum. It's like, hey, your sidewalk is fucked up.
It's Bush's fault.
Hey, George W. Bush. Hey, I'm Obama.
Yeah.
But that's the politics of it all. But now let's see what your policy is, because again, fascism really is what policies you put in place or bring back, or sanctions or whatever you put against the people that's in your country.
That said, the whole Syrian war thing, as Americans, we're not necessarily dealing with that as much, but Syria is closer to Europe, of course. So I don't have the stats, but you have to think that's playing a role on some part of it.
So the immigrants that's coming in from the Syrian government and a lot of that.
Yeah. I think they're
in Afghanistan too.
Okay, I think they're being used as scapegoats. Now I don't know if there's actually crime spikes or tension.
It's the xenophobic.
That's what I'm saying. Attitude. But people are just like scapegoat. Does shit seem worse?
Yeah, I wonder if it's more. It's also like fear based.
Yep.
So wars have been going on forever. So that isn't really the change. So I wonder if it's like you said, it's all these refugees, that are just like fuck this and just leaving their countries. So obviously ISIS is a problem, but there's also Al Qaeda, and then there's also all these other little groups or whatever causing terrorizing everywhere.
That shit is so last season. Fuck that. I'm on the new season of the world.
Yeah, but so is Brexit. It's all the same thing.
It's the new season.
I'm saying it's all connected. So I think you got these older heads, the generations that are just fed up, and they got this power, and they join office. I'm talking in Europe. I'm also talking in the U.S. And they see this. Yes, right. And then they're like, I'm going to take over, and they just go harder, and they just say, fuck these Muslims straight up. Like they're just saying, and thanks to Trump, it's a lot easier to say. I know, I probably shouldn't say it like that.
Yeah, you said that with a lot of passion.
That's what they're saying.
No,
I know. That's my
France.
Yeah.
The Macron guy is, I like that guy a lot in terms of the leadership. I think that's needed now. Macron, at least the French people came close to that crazy lady.
Yeah, that was. I was about to say that one was close, and then even Russia got into that whole voting thing, so they had the same issues. So I think it's all connected. I think it's that you got the terrorism, you got these all the wars going on. The wars has changed though. You know what I mean? It's not like country versus country anymore either. So they start pointing at certain like religions and and it gets complicated. And I think when people don't understand, they just get scared, and then somebody has to have the answer. And then the idiots.
But before we had people that
that's
was
true.
working together to kind of create solutions, but because we're not working together as a global, government or whatever you want to call it. Everyone is taking it on their own. I mean, I get that though. I do get that. Like, look, man, I can't keep bringing these fucking people into my country.
There's no G7. It's kind of like everybody for themselves.
And there's no clear leader in that G7 because, you know, even though he said, I'm not dealing with this shit no more, there's a lot of the European people's like, man, I got to take care of my shit on my own right now.
Yeah.
Right. Then you got these leaders that are only talking to their own people. They don't even care about their minorities. I mean, that's the exact reason why Trump doesn't invite the NFL the Philadelphia Eagles to the White House. That's never happened. You know what I mean? Since the Super Bowls have started, you've always invited the champions. I mean, it's an easy thing to do when you're the majority. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know if you want to segue to that because I feel like the media is part of the problem with that too.
So yeah, I definitely want to get into it during our next session because part 2, I want to get into the media and primaries and election. So stay tuned for part 2 of Rethink Politics.